Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A, and today I am starting my peppers and I'm really excited about it. So we are about 7 weeks out from our last frost date, about 9 weeks out from when I'm gonna put these peppers into the ground. And this is usually around the time that I start my peppers. I've been doing it around this time for the last 6 years or so, and it works out pretty well. I'm starting with the 3-inch pots, and I'm doing both my hot peppers and my sweet peppers. So that's why you see 2 trays back there. One is for the hot, one is for the sweet. I don't know if there's much to explain about starting peppers besides the fact that you put them in the soil, and it is helpful to have a heat mat because peppers really want that warm soil to germinate. I've always put mine on a heat mat and they seem to germinate really, really well. Another thing I do is if I've got an old pack of seeds, I'll usually put about 3 or 4 seeds in a pot. But if it is a new pack, I'll put about 2 because the germination rate at that point is still fairly good. These pots have already been, of course, filled and watered, so they're ready to go. I will put some vermiculite on top afterward just to keep that algae growth down. But I have 27 different varieties of peppers that we are going to plant out today. So this is going to be a marathon. Here I am going to start out with my hot peppers. Why? I don't know, because that's the tray I put here, I guess. It's an easy win as well because as you can see, there are only 11 different varieties of spicy peppers that I'm going to be doing this year. And we're going to start it out with this ahi pepper that is very pretty. I love the taste of this one because it's not too spicy. Let's see how many seeds I have left. Okay, yep, we're gonna do 3. Let me get my dibbler out. Oops, missed the hole. And it's honestly as easy as that. You remember to label it. And then I have another ahi pepper. This one is mostly a red, whereas the first one I did can kind of vary in color. Ooh. I'm only gonna have 2 seeds for next year. Next one is the Bastin pepper. This is a poblano pepper and I've been growing this one, I don't know, forever. Since I first started my garden, and I really like this hybrid. It has always done really well for me. It is a spicier poblano. Next up is the big guy jalapeno. This produces some pretty decently sized jalapenos that are great for stuffing or making jalapeno poppers. I'm finding more and more as I garden the specific type of certain varieties I'm more drawn to. So the big jalapenos are my preference, but I am going to be using up these seeds that I have of some of the other varieties because I do not want them to go to waste, and I might have family or friends that are looking for some, and that'll be something I can gift them. And this is one of them. So this is the brown jalapeno. It is not necessarily one of my favorite jalapenos, but I will keep growing it until the seeds run out because it's not a bad jalapeno. And sometimes it's fun to have like a diverse color range of jalapenos. And then I have this Jedi jalapeno, and yes, I am growing it because of the name, and I will probably always grow it for the name. It's not nearly as big as the big guy jalapeno, but it is still a pretty prolific jalapeno. So as long as Johnny sells it, I will probably be buying the seeds for it. Though this pack has lasted me about 5 years at this point. And there's still quite a few in there. Next up is the New Mex Lemon Spice Jalapeno. This is probably one of my least favorite jalapenos that I have. Don't get me wrong, it's a gorgeous color when it ripens, but it's such a small jalapeno. So after I finish these seeds, I do not think I will be repurchasing. The pumpkin spice jalapeno is the next one I'm gonna plant, and it's kind of up there with the lemon spice jalapeno. I'm gonna grow it until the seeds run out, but afterwards I don't think I'm going to repurchase or save seeds, I guess, simply because they are such a small jalapeno and they're not always the easiest to work with culinarily. And then we have the stuffing Scotch bonnet, which is a slightly sweeter Scotch bonnet. It's not nearly as punchy as a traditional Scotch. So I like to make a milder hot sauce out of it because you can get some of those tropical flavors without getting too slapped in the face. And at some point, when these guys are starting to come up, I will either separate these out if I want multiple plants, or I will thin them out if I'm only aiming for about one plant. Just gonna go ahead and make the holes. Except for we're gonna wanna remember to label that. And then I have the sweet bonnet, which is very much like the stuffing. I wouldn't be overly surprised if they were the same thing, just with a different name. And then last, for the spicy peppers, and new to me this year, is the unicorn jalapeno. This is a hybrid jalapeno. It looks like it's going to be fairly big, which is why I wanted to try it out. Plus, I'm a sucker for a unicorn. But when I saw it in the seed catalog, I decided that, yeah, we should probably try this. Ooh, and they're coated. I did not realize they were going to be coated. I don't think I've ever had a coated pepper seed before. Get the label on this one. And this is the point where I will then add some vermiculite. I'll get this to the heat mat. So now I am going to be doing the sweet peppers. I have 16 different varieties, but I'm going to be doing 3 containers of at least one of the varieties because A, I love it so much, and B, running a little experiment. I am going to start this off with the albino bullnose. This is a smaller bell pepper, but it's always been one of the earliest to produce in my garden. So I'm going to continue to grow it until the seeds run out. Next up is a new to me pepper, and this is the Big Bertha. This is a giant red bell pepper. And I'm now kind of on the hunt for the bigger variety of bell peppers because I do enjoy stuffing them, and they just make, hold on, there's only supposed to be 2 holes, not 3. Got so used to doing 3 that they're just easier to process when they're a bigger pepper. The Big Bertha. And then another new variety is the Big Red. And I got this one for much the same reason. It's a bigger red bell pepper. I only need 2 holes. I get myself into a pattern, and sometimes it's just hard to break out of it. Not put a lot of seeds in this one. And I have one of my all-time favorite peppers, and that is the blot pepper. There's something about how big these guys get that I absolutely adore it. And I've only got 4 seeds left, because we're gonna plant all of these. Remember to try and save seeds. Here we have the Chocolate Beauty. This is one I'm not ultimately that impressed with. It's fun to have peppers in all different colors, but this one's just okay. I have a ton of seeds for it, but I think it's another one of those ones that when the seeds run out, I probably won't grow it again. It's also not as prolific as some of the other varieties that I have. So this is another one of my ultimate favorite peppers, and that is the Lesia pepper. This is the red version. I fell in love with this pepper just because of the shape and how thick the walls of the pepper are. It is a dream to work with, and I love the taste. So this one will always and forever be in my garden. It's one of those ones that I would never be mad if I had to put more than 1 plant in my garden. And because the walls of this pepper are so thick, it lends itself very well to dehydrating. That is the Lesia. And of course, we cannot forget the jalapeno. I will always try to grow some form of non-spicy jalapeno in my garden because it makes the best not hot sauce that I love to use all of the time. I'm not Ultimately, I'm not much of a spicy person, but I do love the taste of, say, sriracha. And so I make a sriracha that has zero heat to it, and it tastes great on all kinds of Asian bowls or on fish tacos. And so I make a fermented jalapeno sriracha sauce each year. This next one I have from 3 different growers, which is why I was talking about how I was going to do multiple cells. And that is the orange Lesia. I got these all last year, and I kind of ran an experiment on which seeds seem to grow best for me out of these growers. But I'm going to recreate it this year because I had a few things go a little wonky on me. And part of it was my fault. I decapitated one of the plants with a garden hose. Did not mean to do that, but that happened. Like I said, this variety, I love the sweetness. I love the thickness of the pepper wall. And it doesn't have an aggressive amount of seeds, but it's really easy to de-seed the pepper. Okay, so that was the Baker Creek version. Then we have Rachel's, which is a grower I found on Etsy. And the last one is from Sherwood's. And then we have the Purple Beauty, which is kind of on the same level as the Chocolate Beauty. While it's not a horrible pepper, it's not a super exciting pepper. It's fun to have that color, but it's never been the strongest pepper plant for me, at least not producing. Ooh, but this one I really liked last year, and that's the Purple Smudge. It's a little bit like the blot pepper, but it leans more into the purple tones. Here I have, this is a Red Impact. So once again, it's kind of in that vein of when I was on the Seeds and Such site. I was seeing some of these like bigger bell peppers. So I had to give them a try. We'll see how they go. Kind of compare the 3 different varieties I got from them and see which one I like best. Here's another white pepper. This is the Snowball. This one is in the same vein as the albino bullnose. It produces pretty early, but it's not a very big bell pepper. And I think in the future, if I only had to choose one variety, the albino or the Snowball, I'd probably pick the Snowball because it does tend to produce better for me than the albino. Ooh, this one is new. This is the Spanish Mammoth. I am not going to attempt its Spanish name because my Spanish is not the best. This is another one of those like really big peppers. I think this is the year of my big pepper experimenting. I heard several people talking about it and just describing how big it gets. And it sounds like it's right up there in the realm of the blot and the yellow monster. This one is the Sunbright Yellow. Not a very exciting pepper, nothing really special about it. I'm just growing this one until I don't have the seeds anymore. This is one of those peppers I bought when I was first planting a garden. I still didn't quite know where my preferences lay. So it's been many a year of experimenting and figuring out which pepper I like to use or which one tastes the best, which is just easiest to work with or produce as well. And I'm going to follow that with the Sweet Sunrise. It's exactly like the Sunbright. It is bred to be a little bit hardier, but honestly, it's about the same level. We're going to end on another one of my favorites, and that is the Yellow Monster. I think when I finish up with these seeds over here, I'm just going to grow more of these Yellow Monsters because I enjoy them so much more. Once again, I'm just going to cover these with a layer of vermiculite, water it in, put the humidity dome on, and then put it on another heat mat. And then we play the waiting game of, will it germinate? Even on a heat mat, sometimes these seeds can take a bit of time to germinate, which is usually why I take about 2 weeks between peppers and tomatoes when I'm starting, because otherwise I just don't have enough heat mats because I'm still waiting for so many peppers to germinate. That is all there is to it, to starting pepper plants. If you've got a heat mat, if you've got soil, if you've got seeds, if you've got some kind of humidity dome, it'll make the process a whole lot easier. I have seen some people use the top of their fridge as a heat mat before too, and that seems to work fairly well. But if you don't have a heat mat and you just find a warm space in your house, it might take longer for them to germinate. Usually mine take 4 or 5 days, but it might take up to 7 to even up to like 12 days, depending on the pepper and how warm your room and the soil ends up getting. But I suppose now that you've seen the lovely game room in which I've got my heat mat set up, I can show you the seedlings that are in here, and then I'll show you the seedlings that are in the main diningette area. I don't know what to call that space, but the main area. So right below where I just put all of those sweet peppers, I have my little germination area for some of the flowers that still haven't germinated. I have some hollyhocks in there that I'm not thinking are gonna germinate, but I keep trying. I have the agastache, which I did start to see some green on, so I might be able to pull that out soon. And then I have the black-eyed Susan, which I haven't honestly seen anything, and I don't know if it's because my seeds are old or if I didn't do the process right. It could be either of those. Then next to it, I have set up the baby cabbage and the baby bok choy. along with the coleus. This is one of my lowest lights, and since they are so small still, I thought they fit in this space really well. And I guess I have some of the Livingston daisies back there as well because they haven't grown very big yet. Because I am running out of space in the other area, so I have to start thinking about using this space here. Which brings me to the first of the 2 shelves in the dining area. We have the bunching onions, the garlic, and some of the straw flowers that are starting to get a little bigger. And then we have some more straw flowers, some of the sweet williams. I think those might be foxglove, if I remember correctly. And then the echinacea. They're so cute. For now, the top shelf is empty, but this is where I will put the tray for the peppers that start to sprout, and I can remove them from the humidity domes and put them directly under lights as they start to come up. Here in the second set of shelves, I have some of the hollyhocks. These are some of the straw flowers that I potted up and separated out, along with the paper daisies that I also potted up, and they are getting so tall. I think they're loving the new space. Speaking of getting tall, look at this lettuce. It is taking over this space right now. I have been taking clippings from this for dinner nearly every other day. I'm loving having the lettuce right here. I think this might become an all year round thing. Well, maybe not during the summer because I'll have other things outside that I can pull from. But at least over winter, maybe having these lights still on and growing lettuce. I'm liking that idea. And then last, we have the bulbing onions. They are getting tall. I think I'm gonna give them a haircut this weekend. But for now, I think they're looking good. I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be starting out next week. I did do peas yesterday outside because it is supposed to rain so hard tonight, and it rained so hard last night that they're really getting watered, which is what I was hoping for. Middle of March is usually when I start the tomatoes, and I might break that out into sections. Otherwise, I'm gonna have some super long videos of me planting out like 50 different tomatoes, and that can get a little daunting, both doing it and then editing it. So I usually like to take that week to break it up into different sections. So I'll do my slicers, I'll do my Roma, I'll do my snackers. And I feel like I pulled out a different, oh, my dwarf. I now have my own little dwarf category. I'll do maybe that over a span of 4 days. Otherwise, I have my herbs that I want to start sometime this month, along with some spinach and a couple more of my annual flowers. So you can look forward to seeing those. If you would like to follow me on this journey, feel free to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and then hit that bell to get all of the notifications. I do have an Instagram and Threads account, and I've been keeping that more regularly up to date with some of the odds and ends I'm doing. Like, you can watch me pot up some of those and things like that, even planting out the peas. If that's something you want to follow, I don't know. I don't know how to sell myself on social media, but those are things that I do as well. But I would love to hear where you are at in your garden starting journey. Seems like this year things might be starting a little bit earlier than they have in the past. And I say that, and now we're going to get like 2 feet of snow. But we'll see. So I hope I will see you guys again in another video, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.